Marta, Andrea, Miriam, and they all agree we can't get enough of that guy, James T. He watched my little dance in my shiny gold attire, with emerald green skin and a heart full of desire. He's got the phaser, he knows how to aim. He leaves me breathless and screaming his name. He's a one-ship stop, makes the halters drop. He's a sweet talker, space exploring Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He's a one-ship stop, makes my sensors pop. He's a sweet talker, space exploring Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He pushed all my buttons down in that icy cave. He taught this little android how a woman should behave. He's got the phaser, he's got the drive. He pushes my engines to warp factor 5. He's a one-ship stop, makes the dresses drop. He's a sweet talk, space explorer Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He's a one-ship stop, makes my sensors pop. He's a sweet talk, space explorer Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He goes where no man has gone before. Leaves uniforms laying on the floor. He's got the right hardware to boldly explore. Hands on mission to where no man's gone before. Jimmy T, Jimmy T. He's a sweet talking space exploring Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He fell right from the sky and he didn't know his name. He built a little fire and ignited up my flame. He's got the phaser, a heavy device. He docks his shuttle and it feels so nice. Destination stop, make my force field drop. He's a sweet talking space explorer Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He's a one-ship stop, makes my sensors pop. He's a sweet talking space explorer Jimmy T. Starfleet man, Starfleet man. He's a one-stop, got you hot, making all the togas drop. One-stop, got me hot, make my sensor pop. He's a one-stop shop, makes my circuits pop. He's a smooth-talking, phaser-firing Starfleet man. Jimmy T, Jimmy T.
You are watching Mad Men Cafe Live, only on Q2 Cast TV.
Of the lower realms. Look up in envy and terror! Broadcasting from the jagged, oxygen-deprived peaks, we are officially live. You are tuned into the only broadcast daring enough to pierce the clouds, the Madman Cafe. And while you're down there, worrying about traffic or taxes, and by plotting, I mean sipping the finest dark roast espresso known to man while overlooking your tiny ant lives, the Madman Cafe is now in session. Let the madness begin.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We have an announcer now. Welcome aboard. Fix this a little bit here. Welcome to another edition of the Madman Cafe live high atop of my mountain fortress, right in the middle of the great Staten Island. Welcome aboard. Thank you for all coming. If you're coming over from Sci-Fi For Me TV, welcome. Also, Antiderivative Jill. Also, welcome to you as well. For those of you coming over from those shows, we appreciate that you're coming over on this time. It's afternoon. It's hot. We're about 78 degrees here in New York. But let's bring on one of our regulars. I think someone's late tonight. Today, let's bring on Sci-Fi Snob.
Hello, everyone. And that Jimmy T is pretty dreamy, I got to say.
And our guest straight from the UK itself. It is Dean. Welcome back, Dean.
Thank you and welcome. Thank you for the invite, and I'm glad to be here. Can't wait to get stuck in.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We got breaking, but before we really get into this, if you guys haven't realized what's going on right now around YouTube's doing another purge. A lot of YouTubers have been hit by this right now at the moment, including someone that has been on this show, Antiderivative Jill. She's had her channel knocked off from monetization, and basically, she's got a great channel, and I can't see how YouTube demonetized her for breaking the terms of service rules that basically it's not really applied to this situation. It's kind of ridiculous to the point. But right now, she's trying to. In fact, there was a whole campaign. A lot of us have already spoken out on X right now at the moment, and also she has two accounts. One on Coffee, and the other one is on Patreon. It is in the chat. If you missed it, it's in also the description below. So you'll be able to donate to her. You want to give her a cup of coffee. If you want to get on a Patreon, you get special stuff on there. Thomas, hey, it's probably your first time here. Thank you for coming on to the show. So basically, help her. Let's see if we can get her back on the air. We really would appreciate it. She's got some great Star Trek content. Twilight Zone. She was just on today doing For All Mankind. I don't know what episode she was on, either one or two. That she's doing the current.
She was on the first episode of the new season.
She's on the episode of the new season.
Season 5, I think they just dropped.
Yeah, that's the first season on that. So do check her channel out. It is really good. I've been on it, and she does some really good content and great discussions. We were talking about Leonard Nimoy last Friday, right before she got demonetized. And we got into a great discussion. I came in late, but oh boy, that was a great discussion talking about Leonard Nimoy's career.
I hear they're going after all the low effort YouTubers, so I expect to be next to be targeted.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess you're going to have to get a camera, Snob. I guess we're going to have to find out what you really truly look like.
I have a camera.
Oh, I guess we're going to have to turn it on.
But the problem is I have a face for radio. That's the problem.
Well, Joshua,
I'll be here all night, folks.
Yeah, it's and welcome aboard. Oh, she's okay in your book. She hates Kurtzman. Who doesn't at this point?
So it's horrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad Star Trek. It's bad Star Trek. We hope that the Ellisons can take over fully and create a better Star Trek out there. To that point. But let's get into things. There's a lot going on. We have a lot of breaking news. One thing I do want to bring up, but unfortunately, it is still breaking out there. We have gone there. Sesame Street, it very well for many years. It seems that Tubi TV has now gotten the rights to about 38 seasons of it. So it's like the 1969 and forward onto that. So we're going to see a lot of the original Sesame Street available to you, Mr. Hooper and all the original cast on there, and we'll be able to see that on Tubi TV for free, which is a great thing right now. Kids original.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite stuff from the old
days?
Favorite stuff.
Today a judge is blocking the NPR PBS defunding, but this proves, if you look at the old Sesame Street, the old educational way that they used to run PBS, it's not the same as today. So why the government should be funding something of this nature if it's not doing the job that it originally was supposed to have done?
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, some of my favorite stuff, though, has got to be the two aliens with the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, guys.
Yep.
Yep. Mana, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And what's the guy who's singing about his emotions? Makes me mad, very angry, very, very. Those wow, great stuff.
Yeah. For me, it was definitely the Count. I love the Count and Big Bird.
The Count. Yeah, the Count.
Yes. I would get up. Right. We came on a holiday so I'm from Africa, but we came on holiday in 1984. And at every relative we stayed at it was about a month we were in this country, I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, switching on their TV just to catch Sesame Street. Because I just loved it. I found it.
In 1984, you were what, 21 or something like that?
No.
So, geez, that's pretty.
Yes.
I was more of a Cookie Monster guy than Big Bird, but I did like the Count.
Yeah. I love the Count.
And the thing about it is, they said, today, the Sesame Street today, they said, well, we're just now putting on the first minority character as a Muppet, and it's like,
that's not true.
You've forgotten about Roosevelt Franklin.
Roosevelt Franklin, yeah, he was
Roosevelt
early.
Franklin.
Plus, they've had purple Muppets and green Muppets, and they've got every color of the rainbow.
Yeah,
Josh. Sesame Street hasn't been the same since Snuffleupagus shaved off his ass.
I would say that the fall of Sesame Street would be either Snuffleupagus becoming real and everyone knowing about him, or the addition of Elmo. One of those two things.
Yeah, but it was such a great show. I mean, it used to be such a great show. A former employer of mine, his son got to be one of the kids in the opening segment. When the kids are running around the park and everything like that, he was able to run around. He got to be filmed in that. And also another connection as far as myself. I have a connection with Sesame Street on there. The former producer, which I worked together with for the TV show Rabbit Rabbit and Friends, we shot some stuff on the set while they were in break and stuff like that. So stuff we shouldn't have been shooting, of course. So we had because we use the main characters of puppets is Rabbit Rabbit. So basically, there's a scene where we're in the Fix-It shop. Right, and we got Telly Monster, the guy who's doing Telly Monster on there, and you can see this on YouTube. It is available out there on YouTube. Telly Monster grabs Rabbit Rabbit and just tosses him out the studio. It's hysterical to that point. It just tosses him out on there, and then we have another segment we did later on with Carol Spinney, the late Carol Spinney, which did Big Bird and Oscar. And all that, and we did a whole thing together on there, rehashing the drop kick. It's sort of like it was a Telly Monster did a drop kick in a way. That's what it was. It was like drop kick, it's hysterical on there. Every once in a while, if you've gone to my Odyssey page, I have it on the Odyssey page uploaded as well there. So it's really, really funny. But yeah.
Now I see why the show is not as good as it was if you're beating out the puppets nowadays.
Puppets beating on each other.
Yeah,
Muppets and puppets.
There's an excellent Street Gang is an excellent documentary about Sesame Street. I've seen it at least once. It's great. The early years and stuff, talking about stuff. Excellent. Well done. Check it out.
Yeah. So moving on, another big thing that's hitting, and we're still trying to find out. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put this out there that this is rumor. Okay, we're going to put the little rumor hats on that says, it's not 100% verified as of yet. Excuse me, but supposedly Disney might be looking into buying Epic Games. How wrong is this right now, considering that Paramount is, that already the regulators are looking at Paramount right now with the Paramount Warner merger, and now Disney is looking to purchase Epic Games. If this is true, I mean, there's so much wrong with this. I mean, what do you think, gentlemen? Everybody quiet?
I can't see why Disney would want to move into this arena. Steam has this sewn up, and Epic tried to kind of muscle into the PC market with that. They've been giving away free games, and there's a lot of resistance against it. I believe also that they're sacking about 1,000 odd people, aren't they, at the moment? Maybe that's to get the company in a fit shape for a takeover. But I think Disney's mad to do that.
Well, the other half of it is we got to remember the percent, even though it's a small percentage to the situation, is Tencent going to give up their part of it? That's a big question.
Yeah.
That's a big question right there. I mean, is Disney taking the entire 100%, or are they going to take just the 60-70% of the company?
I mean, Disney's a powerhouse. It could be a big shot in the arm for Epic, But right now, I mean, Dean is right. Steam has the PC games market almost locked up. But part of that is because Steam is, under Gabe is being run, like a reasonable company, and the players are very happy. If he was to quit or die or something, it would, eventually he's not going to be there forever. I mean, Steam could go downhill very fast by changing the rules and, taking a very less pro gamer focused, um, attitude towards the platform. Now, I think though that Epic has some like I think that the publishers like Epic, the guys who are the developers, because they charge way less than Steam to get their game on and stuff. So I mean, it does have some advantages. They've been trying to make inroads, but it just hasn't been working. I guess it's not enough to get over Steam to beat Steam. Would Disney be enough to push Epic more as a competitor to Steam? I don't know. That would be very interesting.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it depends what Disney brings to the market, because there's a lot of software games and stuff done by Disney. And if they've got some big exclusive games coming up, which will hit Epic and not hit Steam, that might swing more people onto the Epic platform. And then once you're on the platform and you're getting all the free games that they do on a monthly basis, yeah, you're holding, Steam's hold on you probably lessens slightly. But Disney needs to have a really clear strategy here. They need to have a load of titles, really good titles lined up, to go straight onto the platform, to create that buzz, to create that, getting people back onto Epic. And if they don't, then I don't understand why they're buying a software platform like Epic. So maybe they've got some big stuff lined up, some IP that's been that's been exploited for games creation and stuff like that. You never know. I'll have to keep an ear out.
Yeah, and I'm going to quote a bit of Star Trek. What a fortnight! What a fortnight!
Yeah.
I'm not a big follower. I'm fairly into this area, but I'm not an expert by any means, and I haven't heard of any titles that Disney has coming out that are huge or any plans even for that. But not to say they aren't. And there's a lot of
down Lucas
Disney,
Vision,
LucasArts,
LucasArts games, arts. Yeah,
I mean, and LucasArts was a great company. They put out tons of great games, but that was, anything Disney takes over turns to crap, right? Star Wars, Pixar, LucasArts, you name it. So I don't really see what they bring, what they're going to bring that would help Epic. But who knows? Maybe it's just Epic would probably be at a good price. You'd probably get it at a good price. And it's other than Epic, who are the competitors to Steam? Maybe GOG.
GOG is probably the closest. You got
GOG's
EA.
all the old stuff though. It's not really focused on the newer things.
And EA is just their software, their games. So I think Steam's probably the biggest competitor, and there's not much else in the market.
Yeah, there's really it's not like Burger King and McDonald's or anything. It's it's McDonald's and some tiny mom and pop shop over there.
I know Microsoft have been Microsoft's been trying to edge their way into the market with their so I used to be a member of the Xbox, I forget, it's the where you get access to all the free software and games and stuff like that.
Game Pass.
That's it, Game Pass. And you had so many levels, and you had to go up to like the extreme Game Pass to get access to everything, and it was PC games as well as Xbox games. Having both platforms, it worked for a bit, but then it just became too expensive. There wasn't enough fresh titles hitting their store to warrant the monthly cost. So Microsoft's probably the next closest competitor, but even then Steam's got this sewing up.
Right now, currently, Epic is at $479.75 per share.
I thought that Microsoft made some changes recently in the last year to their Xbox stuff, which made it even more expensive / difficult to get games. It wasn't as good a deal as it was in the past. So, that's not really very good for them.
The price has
People
been
are
going
going to
up.
leave.
Where they had one, Yeah, that's Vicky reminding me that it's called Game Pass. I've had a long day. Where they had the one price and the one price included all, they started to fracture the price up into different ranks. And the moment you start to do that, you start to lose your consumer, because your consumers, they're going, what am I buying? What am I getting access to? This is Game Pass. No, it's not Game Pass Ultimate. So you've only got access to these games. You haven't got access to day one release games. And it just became so expensive, and the price would just keep going up and up. And when you're paying, close to 20 quid, it's 20 pounds here. The AAAs aren't worth playing. The games you are playing, you can pick up for £5 to £10. So at that point, you're thinking, why don't I just pick up these games and ditch the 20 quid a month and own them?
We're about $30. We're $30 USA right now. What some people, and I did it a couple of times, but I've stopped already because it's just like, I don't even hardly play it. I use my little Atari Game Station Go that I got recently, which I love. Right now, I'm waiting for the second one to get released, which is the Capcom version of it. I was buying the the 3-month, which cost about $60. So $30 a month versus $60 for 3 months. I'm going to take 3 months for $60.
Yeah.
On the cards. I don't know if it's still available. I'll have to look it up again online, because on Amazon or Newegg.com, because those are the places you were able to get them. Because they're still available out there somewhat.
I mean, Microsoft started this when it first started with, it had its, you paid $5 a month to get access to the internet and, online gaming, et cetera. And then they switched. Now there's a silver and then a gold. And then they just, and the gold is more expensive, and it just keeps going, right? Like this is way back in the day. They keep fracturing it. Well, want to squeeze more money out of everybody.
Again, this is rumor. We don't know 100% yet. One thing is, like, this is like the day before April Fool's Day, and you never know if someone's just pulling an early April Fool's joke on there. Same thing with the One Piece thing. Could be the One Piece news. Could that be an April Fool's joke also? We don't know onto that. So we'll move on from this, and we'll keep an eye out on this to see what happens next, because you never know what's going to happen, especially with either Disney or any of the other big studios. What's going on? Now, you guys heard of K-pop Demon Hunters from Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Won the Oscar and all that.
What's that?
It's that anime that's on Netflix. I haven't even watched it. I'll tell you.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Really? I'm the only guy who's seen this show. Jeez, you guys. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
It's a Korean. It's Korean. I mean, I like the Korean animation, but it's like, this is like, I don't know if this is for me. I've seen a lot of other Demon Hunter series, which are just a bit more what I like, especially from Japan, onto there. But did you know today? This is today. I don't know if it's around the world on that. I know it's in the USA at limited McDonald's restaurants. They have their own. Well, it's sort of like it's not a Happy Meal, but it's a meal. It's a meal box. And it's the Soldier Boys and the Demon Hunters boxes. Now, the difference is between the two is the Soldier Boy is breakfast. Now, the breakfast is basically a sausage McMuffin with egg, topped with a peppery, spicy Saja sauce, inspired of the fire guama, hash browns, and a soda pop. Which, why would you buy soda in the morning, not coffee? I'm surprised they don't have it on there. But again,
it's an American thing.
It's probably pushing toward the teens themselves on there. And the Demon Hunter one is literally, it's chicken McNuggets with a Raymond McShaker fries, spicy umon spin on the classic fries, featuring a soy, garlic, sesame, and spice seasoning, and the sauce. It's called the Hunter sauce. It's a sweet chili sauce, mixing notes of chili, garlic, and pepper with just enough heat to accompany the 10 chicken McNuggets that it comes with. The sauce is made purple on there. It's a purple sauce. I mean, they just threw in a lot of purple into this. So it's like it's like you're pulling out a goo of stuff on this. From what I've seen, they're already running the commercials here in the U.S. onto that point, so it's not a kid's meal, it's not really an adult's meal, it's probably something in between. It's probably young teens meal to that point. What do you think, gentlemen?
Oh, those Soja Boys are pretty dreamy. I got to say, there's been a lot of dreamy guys on this show so far. I mean, I don't think it's probably not. It's McDonald's. I doubt if it's spicy at all. When they say spicy, it's it might have a little bit. But I mean, the movie is very popular. I can see why they bring this out, and the movie's actually good. I enjoyed watching it, even though I would say it's for teens. The tween sort of 8 to 14 crowd. I mean, I watched it and I was entertained. So I don't, it's one of those, you can go and watch it. It's not as good as the old Pixar stuff where they've got the jokes for the adults and the kids in there, but you can watch it and be entertained as a parent. There's nothing wrong in there. Yeah, it's good, basic, no message crap, just basic, girl boss kind of story. The heroes are the girls. McDonald's. We still go there?
With the sauce, maybe they're trying to relive a little bit of the Mulan Szechuan teriyaki dipping sauce. If you remember that debacle, with Rick and Morty.
I would assume it's a bit. It's a Korean. It's obviously a Korean movie. They're putting a little bit of the Asian in there in order to, which is good. That's good. That's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I like Asian food,
yeah.
but
yeah.
I don't know.
Dean, this is not in your territory, is it?
I'm not aware of this. That said, I haven't been to McDonald's for probably 10 plus years.
Okay.
I'm definitely not the intended audience for this product. That said, it does seem a bit odd that it's aimed at that kind of 8 to 14 market, but you got a lot of spice in there and a lot of strong flavors. So, don't know.
Yeah. I would have expected this out of Japan, Japan or Korea. I would have expected this to be at, but for it to hit the U.S. shores, I was like, I'm shocked.
I think you're underestimating the cross appeal of the movie and also of Asian culture within. I think this is perfectly reasonable to come to North America, Canada, the U.S. There's a lot of cross appeal with all that stuff. So I'm not surprised this is hitting. The movie has been very big in North America.
Yeah, but there have been a ton of other anime boxes through the McDonald's restaurants. Demon Slayer, One Piece. All of them have had some sort of McDonald's box in the Japan and Asia territories onto there.
Yeah.
None of them has made it to the U.S. shores. This would be.
But I think
first.
Though this movie though is I think it's hitting North America very big, and it's much more popular than any of those other things. Is my thought, which is why it's probably here.
Mm-hmm.
But
you said it's on Netflix, yeah?
It's on Netflix, yes.
Yeah, so they probably have a lot of marketing data as to who's enjoying the movie. And if Snob, you're right that they're seeing a big uplift in the Western markets. Maybe this is more of a trial for McDonald's.
And it was big before it came onto Netflix. Like I saw it before it was on Netflix. Everyone was talking about it. Wow, this is really good. Kids love it, and you can watch it as an adult. And I saw it, and I'm like, hey, yeah, this is pretty good. Very reasonable for kids. And that was when it was, after it was blown up. I'm not claiming that I was on the early end of it. I was the tail end, but now it's just even better. I think they brought it back to theaters. And started showing in theaters, I thought, for people to see it. So
they brought that Demon Slayer. They brought back, the Demon Slayer they brought back in the new Screen X format. If you're not familiar with the Screen X format, is basically they've taken 3 screens. It's like a forward, a left, and a right, and the film is projected on all 3 screens simultaneously. So you have an extended view of the movie, and this is like the first anime to hit into the theaters with that. It's already here. I think it's still playing. I think it's already still playing right now in the theaters on there. It has done pretty well overseas on there because it's Demon Hunters is well I mean, Demon Slayer has hit well over $1 billion at this point. So it's these are the things that it happens. It happens to the point. But I do have a message here. It's coming off from my offices over at CutieCast TV, and I do have to mention this before we go any further. I understand there was a situation overseas in the United Kingdom, the theft of 12 tons of Kit Kat out there. We here at CutieCast TV are sending our condolences to the company said itself, and to ensure them that CutieCast TV had nothing to do with the theft of this truck.
It's good to hear that. It has shook each and every one of us in this country. We have nothing to have with our tea, and I don't know when the situation will be remedied, but I hope it will be soon.
And many others have come across. Denny's has already have had theirs. They claim they were not involved since it happened at between 3 and 5 in the morning, which happens to be Denny's happy hour in their restaurants as well. So, many others have come forward. Even Sci-Fi for Me TV has also said he had nothing to do with this. So
now, I'm sure it's a coincidence that Domino's are launching their Kit Kat covered pizza at the same time. I'm sure that's nothing but a coincidence. But
yeah, I would also like to say that I had nothing to do with this theft as well, and that there'll be a free box of Kit Kats to everybody who watches my show for the next for as long as product lasts. I'm getting quick before the cops do.
Well, moving on after that. Now, I know
Dean stole my joke. I got to talk before him. From now on, I'm always going to speak before Dean because
I'll get into your head. I'll nick your jokes.
Damn it.
I'll say them first. Yeah,
You read my mind. Sorry.
Yeah, but right now, I just wanted to bring this up because in the anime world, there's a lot going on. Now, we would normally bring this up on the other show, but Vicky. Okay. We've got that. We've milked that one for the day. Generally, we normally put this on the Otaku Thursday, even though we're making a new show for the Otaku Thursday, but I want to bring this up right now. This week, starting tomorrow, we're about to be inundated with a lot of anime. I mean, we got some of the best of the best. The top level tier anime is coming out in the next several days and several weeks to come. Just to give you a little bit of what's going on, here's a list on there. Tomorrow, you got beginning after the end. ReZero returns for its season 4, which is one of the best. The top 2 tiers. Mushoku Tensei, ReZero. Oh, no, also One Piece is stuck in there in between too. These are the best of the best. The anime that's coming out now. People will enjoy this. ReZero is such a great story. If you haven't seen ReZero, think of it one like the standard isekai where someone's transported to another world. But in this case situation, the main character is constantly killed horribly. I mean, we're talking horribly. It's graphic to the nature. He gets into trouble. He's trying to resolve the situation, and then he's murdered. To the point. But he gets a reset, sort of like a video game reset, and it's very painful. Every time he just jumps. It's sort of like a time jump back to a save point. In other words, and basically he jumps out of it and he's like, oh my God, I'm in pain. But then he knows what's going to happen forward and tries to avoid that situation.
Does his save point change? So
yes, it does change.
So that's the real dynamic.
It depends on where he moves on from that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on in this story. There's a lot. The princess and all this on there. Supposedly there's a character returning who has been in a coma for quite some time. One of the favorite characters on there. She's supposedly coming back this season. So it's great to see. Also, another one, season 4 of Classroom of the Elite. I haven't watched this, but it is very popular. Also, the final part of the Dr. Stone science series on there. This is a very good one if you want to get into science to the nature. It's basically a world where the entire world at one point turned to stone, and thousands of years have passed, and mankind is now coming out of those stone statues. And the technology, everything that's been built upon what mankind has built is gone. It is literally dust and ashes. There's nothing left of it. One main character is trying to bring it all back within his knowledge of science, using the basis to bring this back. Now, the season that's coming in, the final part, they're going into outer space. They have figured out a way to build a rocket to go into space. So this is where we're going. We're in the heavy science portion of this, but this is the final part of this. What we're saying about cores. This is the last of this core that's starting up now. And it's a great series if you want to learn a little bit about science on there, because he goes into detail of science. Making gunpowder, making certain medicines and stuff like that. It goes into very good detail. Now, this one, we talk about, how many episodes in a TV series. And, they say, they've been lately, it's been like 8 episodes, 10 episodes to the point. I mean, even in anime, sometimes you get a 12 or a 24 order for this. Reincarnated as a Slime is starting on Friday. Reincarnated Slime has not a 12, not a 24, not a 30, but a 60 episode arc this season for season 4. It will be split in 5 cores, 12 per core. I think season core 1 and core 2 will be almost back to back. Everything else will be stretched out within a 15-month. This will run into 2027. Probably the latter of 2027 on that. I mean, this is amazing that you can get 60 episode project done for this series.
How long is each episode?
About 30 minutes. About
That's
30 minutes.
Still
depends
really
on how they bring it out. Sometimes they'll bring it like episode 1 might be 40 minutes or 50 minutes long, just to bring back the character, just to refresh everyone the memory of what's been going on.
Yeah. That's still impressive. And today, I mean, in the UK, we're lucky if we get beyond 6 episodes in a season. And it's terrible. You're just getting into it and it all comes to a halt, and then you got to wait another year or longer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is great. If you haven't seen Reincarnated as a Slime, it's a series about a man who passes away, and he's transported to a fantasy world, but he's a slime. He's literally just a little ball of slime. And he begins to sort of infuse himself with the things around him, plants, animals, to the point on there where he begins to get power, gain these powers. He infuses himself with a dragon at one point, and when he makes it out to the outer world, he begins to build a town. The town becomes a kingdom.
Wow.
But it's made up of different characters, different species and stuff like that. And he's able now to, because of what he's done, he's able to reform into sort of a human body as well. And there's some great jokes in between. I mean, there's season 2 when they brought back the dragon. And they sort of had a reference to Street Fighter and Dragon Ball Z in an episode, because the character likes to read manga, and sort of Rimmery, I think it's Rimmery, the character is starting to have books made from things he remembers from the anime and manga from his world, from Japan. So he's giving it to the people there, and the dragon loves this stuff, and he's like, oh, he's flipping through it. Suddenly, there's a scene where he's fighting another demon, and he's doing, or Ken and Ryu's machine, and then another, out of nowhere, they throwing Goku's Kamehameha wave in the middle of between that, so they give a homage to other anime as well onto this series on there. But
I mean,
moving
the
on to the
show-
next. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the show sounds like a great premise. I mean, who cannot identify with the time they got reincarnated as a slime? I mean, that's an awesome
Mhm.
premise.
Yeah, I think I was a slime last week.
Everyone could enjoy that.
Of course, also on Friday we're getting Rent a Girlfriend, which is in its season 5. Yeah, season 5 on there. The romance is still going strong, from what I understand on this. I haven't watched this series. I think the closest I get to something close to this is 100 Girlfriends that that really, 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 really love you. That's the close. And literally, that all those reallys are in the title. Okay, that's another story in itself. Great anime in itself. That's also coming back soon. And then of course Sunday's the big one. Sunday's, out of all of these, even bigger than ReZero. One Piece is back, and they're back with the Elbaf saga, which is, if you're a One Piece fan, and if you watch the Netflix version also, you remember the giants when they're on the dinosaur island, the two giants that were fighting always all together, but they came from somewhere. Basically, the crew of the Mary have arrived at the island of giants. So there's a whole race of giants. They're going to have to be dealing with this in itself. I forgot to bring the picture. Oh, geez, I forgot to bring. At the Anime Expo in Japan, they had a big display where they had a big giant with sort of a video display in the background, and he's sleeping, and they have a little statuette. One of the characters from One Piece in the middle on there. Luffy. They had Luffy in the middle, right in the middle of it. It was such a great design. You were able to take pictures with it of the giant, and you're in the middle of it, in between there. But yeah, that's the big thing we've been waiting for. This has been delayed for quite some time. They had to go back. They had to go with the delay of this arc. They had to go back and rehash everybody with another series from the One Piece era. They had to go back a little bit. So that's what they were playing for quite some time. So people were like, "Oh no, we gotta wait. But everybody has been waiting for this. It has been a long time waiting. We're finally there. This is the one place that everybody wanted to go. Besides finding the One Piece. But I'm way behind. I'm around episode 400. So I'm way behind, because this is like episode, what is it, 1,000 something? 1,079. I mean, right now I think the manga is up to 1150 or 1170, something like that. And remember, this story has been running since the 90s. Both the manga and the TV series. Because the TV series was brought over here on the 4Kids network, which was edited down like crazy, because they took out a lot from the original storyline. So like when you're watching it now on either Crunchyroll or any of the other services out there, streaming services, you're getting the uncut version. You're not getting the cut version. Like one character, he smokes a lot, and 4Kids took it and basically changed it from a cigarette to the end of a lollipop. To that point. And this is some of the things that, I mean, One Piece is not the only thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! And many of the other TV series that were on the 4Kids lineup were edited down out of Japan, which was a shame, because it wasn't that bad at all. Like with One Piece, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't something like, ReZero. ReZero would have to be, if they brought it to like a 4Kids type situation, they would have to edit the hell out of it. It's like Soprano, like the Sopranos cutting the the FUs out of their lineup every 3 seconds. Here they would have to remove all the gore, all the heavy gore, if they wanted it on a Saturday morning situation on there. But that's what's going on in there. There's a lot more coming. Mushiko Tensei is returning, which is another big thing. One of the other great ones. I mean, Mushiko Tensei they created an entire anime studio just to animate this series. Another great manga novels on there. Some people call it a little crude and sexist and all that, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, a great adventure, to the point. It's about a guy who basically, he lived a closed life because he was embarrassed by his features. Uh, he basically became like in Japan, which is true in Japan. You have a lot of people there, people living in their apartments. They don't leave their apartments. They just live on the internet and video games and all that. And basically, the guy's parents die. He doesn't show up to the funeral, and his siblings kick him out. So leave him with no shoes, no clothing, and all that. Just is what was on his back, and he ends up getting killed trying to save a girl from a truck, and he gets transported to a fantasy world, but not like the way every other fantasy world starts out. It basically he's born into the new world. In other words, he's a child, but he basically has his memories of who he used to be. And he was sort of kind of a perv. I gotta say, yes, he was a kind of a bit of a perv. But he's grown up now. He's gone through where he's become a powerful, magician, and now he has 2 wives to the point, and they're bringing back his cousin, which basically part of this he's supposed to marry as well. But there's like a big threat coming. So it's like there's a lot of great battle in this, a lot of good fights, creatures and stuff like that. It's a great event. It's the adventure itself, thrown in with a little humor. But that's also coming soon, very soon. So now, if you haven't watched this morning, a couple of trailers hit. Now, we're not going to play the Supergirl trailer. It ain't worth it to play that. But interesting, was another trailer hitting the airwaves, and we're going to watch it right now. And for the purpose of this YouTube, we are watching this as educational purposes and to comment on this particular trailer on itself. Basically, this is the Masters of the Universe. So let's play it.
I know most of you
Also, if you want us to stop at any time, you guys, let me know.
don't remember me, but I know all of you. Even though I was stuck light years away on Earth, I never stopped trying to get back home.
Everything changed since you left.
It's all gone.
It looks like they kind of reversed the story, because it was the queen that was from Earth, and she came to Eternia, not the reverse. They kind of changed the storyline on this.
Skeletor took my family. And he destroyed our world.
It's all my fault. I know how it feels to fail. Take the sword. And when you fall, that's your chance to stand tall. The universe shall quake and must shudder.
This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it. But I can't do it without you.
Somebody wants to brawl.
I need every man, woman, or whatever that is.
have the power. But you're too scared to use it.
Trust me, I know how to use it.
You tell everyone that you're from another planet. It just makes you sound a little very crazy.
Well, June 5th. Masters of the Universe.
I don't want to hope, but that did look quite good. There's a problem I've got with all modern trailers, and I think this happened when Transformers, Transformers trailer first hit back in the early 2000s. But it's the constant boom, boom, boom you get running through trailers, and I find that just incredibly distracting. But that said, I had a real feel of watching Masters of the Universe, you know, the TV series back in the day, and it looks, I think it's got me intrigued. Let's put it like that. Whereas I wasn't giving this a time of day, I think that trailer actually has enough in there to kind of whet my appetite. A lot of CGI still, and I'm not a big fan, but some of it looks like that there's a running story. And it's not hitting you with jokes every 2 seconds like a lot of the Marvel trailers do. So, you know, it might actually be a decent story in there. It might be something worth seeing. The fact that they've kept to the blonde white guy as you know, the master of the universe, I think that's fantastic, you know. And I don't know, it may be a good watch.
Well, I watched the original Masters of the Universe, Dolph Lundgren.
That was a good film.
It was a good film. Not the greatest. It was good. Langella was the thing that stood out. Frank Langella as Skeletor.
Yeah.
And he played that fantastically. I mean, you know, he just yelled it out. You expected, you know, you had that, you know, goosebump feeling with him, you know, that basically you felt it like from the TV series. The way Skeletor, you know, you expected that kind of Skeletor. This, the way it's looking more like toward the, is it the second or the third series? The one that basically went on, what was it? I can't even remember. Was it Cartoon Network? I think it was Cartoon Network that they had they made him like a little younger.
Yeah, they kind of changed the whole art style, didn't they?
Changed the whole art style and everything.
Yeah. And talking of Skeletor, towards the end where you got Skeletor talking, that whole action piece didn't feel so natural. The skull, the jaw, they all seemed to be kind of fighting each other as he was talking.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That was the thing that got me. I'm glad you said it, because it was like, if I said, I don't know if I said it, anybody would be like, Madman's madman, he's crazy, you know. But it's, you know, it's all in. It's the little things that, you know. It's like with the Harry Potter stuff, you know. It's the little things in the, you know, the way it's created. For me, it was the music. The way the new Harry Potter series is the music, the way certain things look. You know, people say, "Well, you're going to criticize this particular guy, Snape," and I could, but that's not what's carrying it for me. For me, what's carrying is that it just doesn't feel like a England type story, which that's how the way it was. You know, it feels more a standard traditional type show that might have been made in Canada or made in the United States to that point, you know. And this, for them to go say, "Oh, we're back to Earth again," come on, really? You know, we already did that years ago with the Dolph Lundgren one. We went to Earth, you know, and went back, you know, back and forth between Earth and Eternia, you know. Then you're swapping the story to the point that you know, He-Man is, you know, on Earth, you know, for a long period of time, but actually, you know, it was his mother that came from Earth and came to live on Eternia. because her ship crashed. If you've never seen that episode on the original He-Man series, on, on that situation. So, but what do you think, Snob?
Well, sorry, I just wasn't eating a chocolate bar. It was not a Kit Kat. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I kind of got to agree with some of what you guys have been saying here. It's been, I mean, the trailer looks great. But again, for me, it's always story, right? If it's a good story, it'll be good. If it's not, it won't. And you can't tell from the trailer. It's just clips of stuff clipped together. I mean, we've been tricked so often before. I would ask again, I mean, there's been a movie about this already, right? I mean, why are Hollywood constantly redoing these properties instead of doing something new like, Project Hail Mary or something like that? Why do you have to recycle this stuff? I mean, I don't remember seeing the original movie, but you guys have said it was pretty good. Do we need a new Masters of the Universe movie? I don't know. I agree with the things that you said. There's no Marvel jokes in there. There was the reference to, there was the bit of the first trailer, the teaser trailer came out. There was a reference to the woke messaging in there with the pronouns he, him on his desk when he was working. I thought that was a good joke. I thought it was a little bit of a thing. I didn't take it, poorly, but again, it's a story, right? Like, how's the story going to go? If it's a nice big action adventure sort of thing, based on this property, I think the kids will like it, and even some parents will take their kids to it, and there'll be a little bit of nostalgia and that kind of stuff, and it'll be good. But it all depends on the story.
I have to agree with you, Snob. It comes down to the story, and as long as all they have to do is have a hero who defeats the bad guy. That's it. Classic good versus evil. Make it into an action-packed, popcorn kind of movie, and it will do well. But if they try to be too clever, I think it's going to fail. If they try to inject any modern day politics and stuff like that, I think it's not going to work well. If they overdo the CGI, I think it won't be fantastic. But nail that story. Yes,
and that's the problem with us. We're so jaded because they've screwed us over so often that we can't go and if this was the 80s, everyone, a certain group would go and see this movie and they enjoy it because they know, hey, it's going to be a big action flick. It's going to be popcorn. There's going to be some, lots of fights and some heroic action, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, of course I'll go see it. Is it going to be the best movie in the world? No, but I'm going to, it'll be a good action flick. Like all the action flicks we saw in the 80s with Schwarzenegger and Stallone and all that stuff. We knew what we're getting, but now we can't know what we're getting. And so we're all very, cynical about it. And like, I mean, you might take your kid, if you are a dad, maybe you're in your 40s or something, and you'd be like, hey, I'll take my boys and my daughter to see this movie. They're all between, 6 and 14 years old. It'd be a family outing. You'd go and you'd see it. But now you'd be like, it could be just a load of garbage and not, it won't be that good action adventure where the kids will come out swinging their swords and go, yeah, that was really fun. So, you might just pass on it, which is a shame.
Yeah, well, let's hope it's not like the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe also. So, to the point. Dave, welcome aboard there. Good to see you in the chat on there. And Vicky puts up, they need to respect the original cartoon and it'll be okay. Well, I've never seen most of these movies respect the original cartoon. Very rare you get the original. And you can ask the anime world how many out of the amount of films that were put out there and TV series really hit the mark, which is very small versus what they wanted to put out. I mean, Dragon Ball is like the biggest on there, and Cowboy Bebop. Those were some of the worst you ever see as far as animation adaptation into live action. I mean, One Piece has been fantastic, but you go to those others, it's like ugh.
And Vicky hits on the big problem, right? We don't know if they're going to respect the original. If it was back, in the 80s or early 90s, we'd be like, yeah, of course they're going to respect it. But now we can't be sure, right?
Mm-hmm. So we'll see June 5th when it comes out on there to that point. But now at this time of the show, I have to bring up that we have a new segment It's the silent moment of the week. It's something new, which we'll be bringing up some insane videos, some insane situations on there. So let's get started with that. So this week on, let me see, let me stop that before it kicks in. Did it start? No. Hang on.
I am officially getting.
Okay. On this edition on there, we have a comedian named, if you're not familiar, Learn More Jonesy, if I got that right. African, I believe he's African comedian on there. He's being sued. What is he being sued for? He's being sued for a joke. Now, the original thing was that basically we thought it was Disney that was doing this, but let's let him explain what has happened.
I am officially getting sued for telling a joke. Look, there's a lion. Oh my God.
You're joking.
And that's why I'm getting sued for $27 million. And to make matters worse, I got served the lawsuit while I was performing on stage. What is this? What is this? Service. Oh, shit, I just got served. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. You just... For those who are wondering what this is for, I did a joke about the Lion King. I don't know, you saw it? That was me, yeah. I'm paying for that shit now. This is the shit. Fuck the Lion King. I just got served, bro. Yeah, I got served right in front of you guys. I'm now raising money and GoFundMe page. Oh, this is so funny, man. All right, how do we move on from this? You know, this is what happened. You know, I was watching The Lion King, and my question was, why do these lions have American accents? And they're like in Africa. And the only accent they gave it to the monkey. What the fuck? And it was Caribbean. What the fuck, man? Listen, I now have a gluten allergy, anxiety. I got served. I'm now American. Yes. Right now, I'm looking for a lawyer, man. I need a very good lawyer. If you know anybody out here that is willing to help me, please reach out to me. My email is down there. It's right here. Please reach out. I need your help. I can't believe I'm getting sued for telling a joke.
Yeah. Can you believe this? This, I mean, I hope a judge throws this out.
Oh, so do I. Yeah.
Because the lawsuits that have been coming out lately have been real. I mean, he hurt my feelings. He's hurting my music. He made a joke. Obviously, they have made fun of the Lion King music before. You know, I'm surprised Weird Al Yankovic hasn't done one as of yet, some sort of parody. But you know, you and you know, I was like saying at first when I heard this, I thought that Disney was responsible for this, and then it's like then you hear no, this wasn't. This is hang on, let me see, Lebo M, who's the composer of the Circle of Life chant, and excuse me, you know, to hear something like this, it's ridiculous. I mean, gentlemen, what do you think?
Oh, okay. So this segment is asylum moment, like some crazy moment. I thought it was silent moment, as in like somebody died or something. I thought we was going to get in memoriam, but anyway, yeah. I mean, this is crazy. They just did. I mean, this guy's career is now going to skyrocket because of this. This is the viral moment. I mean, I'm sure that I'm surprised every comedian doesn't go out and just do the same Lion King joke, just repeat it and see if they get served. I mean, it's just crazy. He's, I've never heard of this guy before. He's, $27 million. Is that true? I mean, for what? A comedian that, is pretty, it's not like he's a big name, he's not Steve Martin or something. His impact is probably very small. It's crazy.
Dean, what do you think?
I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan, and I know Hans Zimmer did the music for The Lion King, and The Lion King is one of my least liked pieces by him. And we were watching, I think it was Hans Zimmer in Prague, and he had Lebo on talking about the bit and singing the part and everything. And during that concert, he was actually saying that, the words he spoke were, they were anti-apartheid words at the time. So maybe he's been found out for actually just saying there's a lion, rather than this political messaging that he was very cleverly hiding within the song. And maybe he's just embarrassed and he wants to sue the comedian who kind of found him out. But
isn't the comedian I thought the comedian just made that up. Like, does he really just say there's a lion over there?
I don't.
Is this?
No, it sounds like the comedian was a joke. Yeah.
Is this like the closed captioning? The people who are doing the hand gestures for the deaf are on, and they don't know nothing about what they're doing. They're just making it up. They're just waving their hands around. Is that one of these things? Like, I thought the guy didn't. The guy doesn't know. I figured the guy doesn't know. He's just making it up. It's a joke, right? Like,
I don't know. It's one of these. I struggle to get into the head of someone who will wake up one day. You've made the song. You're very famous. You go touring with one of the best composers in the world, Hans Zimmer, and people applaud you. And then a comedian makes one joke and you feel the need to sue them. And I don't understand that.
One joke on some, like, it looked like a podcast or something like that. Like,
one
that I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it or seen it.
Yeah, it wasn't to a packed out audience or anything like that. It's I mean, this comedian, I'm going to be looking him up now because he sounds actually quite funny.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, that's got to be, maybe you'll do more stuff on it. It's like it's the Streisand effect. It's like they go out and they go, hey, I want to make this guy famous. I'm going to sue him for $27 million. Like, he doesn't have, he's a comedian. He doesn't have $27 million. He doesn't have 2 quarters to rub together, probably. I mean, comedians are pretty poor usually until they hit it big. It's just, I'd be tempted to just, like, he's like, I need a lawyer. I'm like, tempted, is this for real? Just go in front of the judge without a lawyer and say, Your Honor, come on.
It's a joke. It's just
a joke, right?
It's just a joke.
Why am I here?
I
hoping, really need to
get
get a lawyer. Like, this is.
Yeah, I'm just hoping a lawyer who likes the jokes, does it for pro bono, does the work, represents them, gets it chucked out. In fact, gets a countersue put in. And
countersue, get that money back.
Distress for my client, and otherwise it's just.
If I was at that guy's show and then somebody came up and gave him a paper like that, I figured it was a put up bit. It was a joke, right? Like, it's not real. Like, you hired somebody, or you and your buddy got together, and this is like, no, it's real. Oh, come on, you got to be kidding. Truth is funnier than reality is funnier than the fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane, that this is going on. And this time and age, it's like you can't make a joke anymore. Someone will end up suing you. You hurt my feelings. Come on, fess it up. Smack yourself in the face with water. Take a shot of whiskey and go on with your life. That's it. Plain and simple to that point.
Maybe we should all sue each other in order to get some, get some clout or something and get the.
I remember a Hulk Hogan movie back in the 90s. I forgot the name of it. He played. Oh, it's Suburban Commando.
Oh, yes.
And he plays an alien. He plays an alien that comes on Earth, and he's on there. And there's a scene where basically, I guess there was these big guys in the car and everything, and Hogan smashes it up because they were coming. It looked like they were coming after him, and the guy goes, "You know what we're gonna do to you?" He said, "Are you gonna pummel me and just smack me down and punch my face in the face?" said, no, this is the 90s. We're going to sue you. It's like, oh, what Vicky's saying here. We need to laugh more and take life way less serious. Some people's egos are so fragile, and that's the truth. Hollywood, the music industry, you name it. The politics, the politicians. You say something like, "Oh, I'm going to sue you," or "Oh, I'm just going to chastise you in the mainstream media."
Well, Vicky called my ego fragile. I'm suing. That hurt my ego.
Oh my god! All right, so let's move on from this. We'll monitor that situation on there. But we got some good news coming up on a couple of things. You guys seen Alien, right?
Alien, yeah.
Alien the movie.
You mean the movie or real aliens?
No, the movie.
I've seen both, but that's fine.
Damn, I'm gonna have to take a trip to Alberta. Because if you're seeing aliens up there, I need to see them too. To the point. But some good news.
You just walk down the street of New York. You got they got purple hair, blue hair.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not aliens. They're just basically people that belong in somewhere locked up for the rest of their lives. If you know what I mean. But basically, the Alien series. Well, it seems like starting tomorrow, and it's not an April Fool's joke. HBO Max will be bringing most of these back to the streaming site. That includes Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and also I think it's Romulus also. Covenant and
Alien
Prometheus
versus Predator as well.
They said versus Predator?
Yeah, the extended cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have that on my list here. But Covenant and Prometheus will not be part of this so far. They might bring it later, but supposedly these are coming up, which is great to see these back in, especially if they're going to be director's cuts, assembly cuts. I love the director's cut of Alien and Aliens, which is really, if you guys haven't anybody out there has not seen the director's cut of this, take a moment tomorrow, watch it. It's a real extended, especially the scene where in Alien where Dallas is on the wall, he's stuck up there and impregnated, with an egg on there, and he's like, kill me, and it's like, you didn't realize what happened to Dallas, at the end toward the end of the movie on there, but in the director's cut you get to see that. And then in Aliens, you get to see that extended cut with the rail guns, shooting the aliens, that's a great scene. Those rail guns that they left in the hallway, and those things are just blasting them. Freaking,
you don't realize just how many aliens were on that planet until you see that scene, and just how many they kill until the guns start to jam and then run out of ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic scene.
Exactly. And it's just switch to that. And I've always loved Alien, and I just didn't like how they really took it over. A good book to read. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's Hunter's Moon. Was it Hunter's Moon? No, that's Alien Predator. There is a sequel to Alien Resurrection, which it's a continuation of the crew of the Betty, and situations that happened to the survivors of the Betty. What's the Ripley clone doing now after Resurrection? That they're still on the ship, and then they're just moving on to whatever lives that they're trying to do. It was a good book. I read it a long time ago, but it's a good one to pick up on that. And I'm trying to remember the name of the novel. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember on that. But like I said, go check it out. It's out there somewhere. You might be able to find it. Now, here's some big news. You remember Megan Fox? Remember Megan Fox? You remember that little movie she did 17 years ago? That little horror film that she did? Jennifer's Body?
No.
Well, that movie with Amanda Seyfried was a big hit back when this first came out. It is getting a sequel. Diablo Cody, who basically made this movie, is in the middle of finishing up writing the sequel to Jennifer's Body. It is a great film. I mean, I'm glad Diablo is doing it. Now, a lot of people are asking, is Amanda Seyfried going to return? A lot what we've heard from Amanda is that if Megan is coming back, Amanda said she will be back for the sequel to this point. And, that is a, good chance that we might have a good film. Horror has been doing very well for itself. And now joining us a little late, which I wonder if he was truly the Kit Kat thief, Outpost Nerd. Hello.
What's
Oh,
up?
he's
What's
having
up?
some more.
No.
Were you?
Can you hear
Were
me?
you trying to hide some Kit Kats there, Outpost?
Hide them. They don't last long around me.
Oh, so you do admit that you have the 12 tons then?
What are we talking about?
The Kit Kat theft. You haven't heard about they thieved out 12 tons of Kit Kat in the United Kingdom? 400,000 bars.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was a meme. I saw it. It was
No,
It had
no. Well, no, it turned into a meme.
Episode 2 of
It turned
Firefly.
into a meme.
I thought it was a meme. I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme. It's real. Holy shit!
Yes, 400,000 bars.
I did not know that. Wow,
Oh,
that's insane.
yeah.
Someone.
Yeah.
Of course, this is a country where like the cops don't have guns. They boil everything, and they still have a king and queen, but they march for a no king protest.
Let's be careful on
Sorry.
there.
I know.
We got Dean on the air. We don't want to get him in trouble.
That's why I looked at him and was like, well, am I wrong?
I couldn't possibly comment.
He cannot possibly comment. Remember that.
I want it's on my bucket list to go to the UK and visit. Like my best friend growing up, his dad was from Glasgow, and I want to see something. I want to see a building, a castle that's older than my like Western civilization. That's what I want to see.
There's
older
a lot.
than the Americas. I'm a history buff, so I love watching those. There used to be a show, I can't remember, it was just basically archaeological digs in England and UK and like people's backyards and fields. I can't remember the name
There's
of
a
it.
lot of shows that do that. There was one on the BBC where they would, effectively be people's backyards where they find
Yeah.
something and they'd be digging it up and revealing what was their old Roman ruins and
Yeah, it was
stuff
so
like that. Yeah.
so interesting. And you found one of your kings buried under a car park.
Yes, we did, and
That was
it was terrible.
insane.
Yeah.
That was insane. I love British comedy. I listen to Dara O'Brien and all those guys except for Frankie Boyle from Talk
Dara
Movie.
Breen would say he's Irish, not British.
Well, it's British TV. It was on the BBC.
Yes, but he's a good comedian. I do like him.
But I grew up reading like the Beano and all those British comic books, like Dennis and Nasher, Banana Man, and all that. Because my best friend, like I said, his dad's from Scotland. His grandfather would send him copies over, and would send us like Scottish candies. And I remember one time in middle school, I got like so sick because I tried to cut back on sugars, and they sent us this baked good. I can't remember. It was like trifle or something.
Trifle,
Trifle,
or is it something? Because the big Scottish one is shortbread, and that is
maybe
like
it was a type of
very,
shortbread because
yeah.
we just scarfed it down, and I spent the night with him that night. And I woke up the next morning, and I just like hugging the toilet because I was so sick. It was awful. But I grew up with like British, like I had to fight my geography teacher to do a project. It was you got to pick a country and write a report on it. And I wanted to do Scotland because I was going to interview my friend's dad. And he was like, oh, someone picked the UK. I was like, you tell that to a Scottish man, they will fight you. That's
or a Welshman. Yeah.
Yes. But I want to go to like, I'm a big Highlander fan. I want to go to the Highlands or that shot in Skyfall when when they stop in the Highlands on the way to the estate. That I just want to go there. It's beautiful. What I've seen
It
is
is.
beautiful.
It's incredible. It's a beautiful country. Wales is equally incredible with lots of castles as well. So there's some lovely countryside in the UK.
Yeah, I'd love to go to London, see the city, but the countryside is what I want to see.
Yeah, don't go to London. It's terrible. It's really not a good place to be.
Especially right now, kind of.
Yeah,
So, but-
it's just, a city is a city. You
Yeah.
can go anywhere in the world and see a city, but to go out into the countryside to see if you have a look at the English Heritage site, it'll have all the castles on there. It'll link to the Welsh Heritage site, the Scottish one, and you can find where all the castles are and just go on a complete tour of
yeah,
the
I
UK.
would love to go see the I can't remember the real name of it, but it was Downton Abbey. I can't remember the name of the cat. It was something Castle, I think, and they had there's a bunch of them in the show. And there was one. My mom was one woman who marries into nobility, so she does tours of all the castles and historical homes, and goes meets like the lords and ladies. And this one, they basically had the bottom floor corner blocked off, and it was a little apartment like you'd see a college kid. The lord and lady of the castle lived in that small little apartment, and like they had a sealed archway that was sealed, and that was basically right across the archway where the tour groups were. And then they did the Highland game. They had the Highland games going on, so we have a local Highland game in my town once a year, and I had to miss it this year, which bummed me out. But I loved like British history, watching like documentaries about all the battles. And,
Well, if you do get a chance to pop over, the only thing I'd say you see around London area, it's a bit outside Dover way, but Dover Castle is a good castle. But you also get to see there's the war rooms in Dover as well, so you get to see where D-Day was planned and stuff like that, and that is incredible. Yeah.
See, that's one. If I could have down and have a drink with any historical figure, it'd be Churchill. I love like I know he was a rough tumble guy. One of my favorite lines he's ever had. A woman looked at him and says, "Sir, if you were my husband, I'd poison your drink." And I love he was so quick witted. He looked at her and says, "Ma'am, if you were my wife, I would drink it." He's so quick witted. I think like God put him in that position at that time. It was divinely like. It was a divine hand put him in the place that he needed to be. Just him, all the allies. I was watching just the other day the spat between Eisenhower and Montgomery about the American general supposedly being under his command. Him wanting to fire. I can't remember it. He wanted Patton fired, and I can't remember the other guy he wanted fired just because he'd ask questions and make suggestions during a planning meeting. And Montgomery was under the British idea, like you do what you're told, no matter what. I'm in charge. I'm the nobility. I'm the general. But the American was like, okay, let's come together. Give me some ideas, people. That's the American style war, and that clashed in World War II. And it was just, it's so amazing and so interesting, just seeing how the different ideas of war came about, were coming about, and how British still had that idea of noble war that I think kind of went out in World War I with with the trenches and everything. The idea that like you don't attack the officers, kind of still that we saw, like that was a big thing in the Revolutionary War here in America of American troops attacking British officers and just causing chaos. And the British still had that kind of idea, I think, all the way up until World War II. We saw that in Montgomery, who I heard was a right tosser in a lot of regards, but he was good at his job. And I think without Montgomery, without Patton, without Eisenhower, without all of them, we'd be speaking German right now. So,
well, to be honest, this is a conversation probably for a different live stream, because it's fascinating. But yes, we had the right person in charge at the time, and that's what mattered.
Yeah, and we
I
got to
love
move on. We got to move
Gary
on.
Oldman as Churchill.
Yeah.
Jennifer's Body, that was a good movie for various reasons.
Yeah, we got to move on a little bit here.
Sorry, I was late.
No, it's okay. I know you're
I
late
fell
on there, but
asleep.
you fell asleep. Ah,
Yeah. I was asleep.
I was
I'm
about to tag you, and as I say, it's like, gee, he's never this late. But anyway, we're going to move on. Is Jennifer, Megan Fox? Hopefully, Megan Fox will be returning back in
Are they doing a sequel?
They go doing. Diablo Cody is finishing up the script on it.
Well, I was wondering how they're going to do that. Doesn't Jennifer in the movie die and the spirit takes on Amanda's
Diablo
Sheffield?
Cody? Yeah, well, we'll know from Diablo because Diablo's doing the script.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So this is a remake or just a?
It's a sequel. It's a direct sequel. 17 years. This movie is 17 years old.
I'm not a big fan of horror. Is this correct here? The child of Mean Girls and the Lost Boys.
Yes.
Is that
it's sort of like if you combine those two, yeah, that's what you got.
Okay, well then I would like that. I would like. I'm not big on the horror with the
I always felt this was more like horror comedy.
Yeah. Well, I see. I would like that.
There is gore in it. There is gore in this.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's okay.
But it's a really good movie if you've never seen this. Of course Megan Fox back then.
Yeah, she's had a lot of work done since then. And it's like, oh come on, it's like ruining a Picasso.
And speaking of, let's move on to the next part of it. We know Sydney Sweeney's headed for Australia to work on her next film. And it happens to be an live action anime. They're doing Mobile Gundam on there, which is interesting. But the more interesting is that basically the next actress that has been tapped to do this is a Deadpool actress. If you remember Yuki from the Deadpool, Shola Katsua.
Yeah, Negasonic's girlfriend. Oh, that's cool.
She will be joining the cast in. Yeah, she'll be joining the cast in Australia. We're not certain what role she has. Only knows that she's going to be in the movie itself with Sweeney, and also Noah Centineo and Michael Mando. And this is going to be a Netflix with Legendary Films is going to be part of this as well on there. Let's hope they do a good job of this.
If she's playing a similar character like she did in Deadpool, she'd probably be a perfect fit for this movie.
Well, it could be, depending on what storyline they're doing for Gundam, because Gundam is, oh my god, we're going back to the 80s on this. There's so much that they could do because the next part of this story is one of the stories from the Gundam universe itself that's coming out also in theaters.
We're going back to 79. Holy cow, with Gundam.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're talking a lot. I mean, Char, it could be a Char story. They could go with Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam Wing, Gundam 88. They could, it's there's so many stories that they could tap to put on the big screen.
Maybe they could go an original. That I mean, that's a little more dangerous if you go the original storyline arc. But I think if done right, it would be great because we've seen original. What was that Gundam movie you sent me?
Oh, that was G Saber.
I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't. It. I tried, but I just couldn't get into it. But you're right. There's so many, and for me personally, I like more of the obscure Gundams. Like one of my favorites is G Gundam. I loved G Gundam, where every nation has their own Gundam, and they fight in a tournament for this. The represented their government, and whoever wins, their government gets control of the space colonies for it's like an Olympics with Gundams, and each Gundam was a theme of a different their country. Like the American Gundam was a boxing Gundam. You followed the Japanese, who was a samurai Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
And the French one was one of my favorites because his Gundam was kind of a musketeer, but he had a cloak, a metallic cloak that would go over, and he'd shoot missiles out of it that were shaped like roses.
Oh yeah.
But,
was it a white cloak that he could wave and surrender?
Yeah, it was funny. He was one of the one of the main 5, including the Japanese Gundam that form an alliance. But I'm like, wouldn't he just give up halfway through? But
See, what's great
I
about the Gundam series? It's a really great mix of politics and action.
yeah,
Because you have the politics of the day, because you're dealing, you're dealing with two groups that are just trying to take control over the satellite bases and also Earth itself. And depending on which story you're watching, it kind of flutters around on the bad guy, who the bad guys and who the good guys. Concerning now, the next thing that I wanted to bring up is uh, Hathaway, which is, if you have Netflix, you can see this right now, which is sort of a direct sequel to Char's Counterattack, which is one of the best of the original from the 80s era, 80s 90s era Gundam. And this is a continuation, like years later. It's great story on there. But the other half of this is that right now, let me get to the right page on this. Oh my God, I lost it here. Oh, there we go. There is a sequel coming to Hathaway, which we did leave off on that, and it's hitting theaters. I think starting in Japan, coming in May. It should hit our shores also, which is basically Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway: The Sorcery of the Ninth Circle, Circe, on there, which is it's gonna be hitting theaters May 15th, and it is a continuation of the storyline. You have a terrorist organization that's what is it, Mafi? It's targeting the Earth Federation. That on top of the other politics that's of the day that's going on in this universe. If you haven't seen Hathaway, catch it. It is really the animation is right spot on. It is a great story. It's a great politics story. To the point it holds up. Hathaway holds up to the original series itself. It makes reference back to the original Char's Counterattack. One of the great characters of the Mobile Suit Gundam series itself on there. And I know Outpost knows on the Char's Counterattack movie itself. I mean, that was a great film, back then, right, Outpost?
yeah. I think a lot of Americans, their first um, exposure to Gundam was Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, back on when Toonami had it, and that was one of my favorites because the Gundams were special. You had mobile suits, and then you had Gundams because they were the story plot line. Oh, the alloy they were made of could only be made in zero gravity, so they were. And then you had the political war between the two factions that wanted control, but they were so, again, the mobile suits in that were so unique. Like, my favorite was Heavy Arms, Gundam Heavy Arms. Basically, he had a shield with 2 Gatling guns, and then his chest would open it with 2 more Gatling guns. He was just so cool.
The music, the opening
Yes.
song is just insane. I mean, it goes from heavy to romantic, back to heavy. I mean, what you're seeing is like, the Gundams just coming out and just pouring on in battle, and then you're switching over to the main girl in there, and it's like sort of like it gives a little bit of a sweet, this the love romance type, and then boom, it hits you hard again.
Yeah.
With all the fighting. I mean,
Back in the
that's what
90s,
made it.
like-
That's what really made it when Toonami started showing Gundam Wing.
And they
And
showed
then you
like
had the movie
original Gundam.
afterwards.
Yeah, they showed a couple of different Gundams at the time, but to me, nothing hit harder and got me attracted to the franchise more than Gundam Wing. But there was another one I watched recently, and I like Gundams that aren't like the traditional big robot fighting like war. Like I said, my favorite was G Gundam, which was Terminate. One that I really liked was Gundam Build Divers. I don't know if
yes.
I liked it because it wasn't the big mecha fights. It was basically you built your own Gundam toy, you scan it, you go into a video game, and you could fight in it. You could basically, it was like RPG gaming meets Gundam, but you could build. It had every single Gundam from every show in the franchise you could pick from, and then you could build off your Gundam. It was really interesting and really great story. It was um uh it really built on the 3D like Oculus kind of gameplay that we have nowadays, but take it to the extreme.
Mhm.
So good.
It is. It is so good.
First
And you know
season.
what else is so good? That's also that it just started production. Is another John Wick movie.
What, Ballerina 2?
No, 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 nothing to do with Ballerina. Nothing about John Wick.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Donnie Yen is rehashing his blind man's role in the latest. We don't have a name for it. I mean, right now it's untitled. So far it's a Kane project that they're doing, and basically it'll be based on the Kane character from basically the John Wick series, and he is in the director's helm for this movie. Now, if you're familiar with Donnie Yen and all his films, I mean, he has a slew of stuff. You know, IP Man, the prosecutor. He was in Rogue One, Flashpoint, Dragon. Once Upon a Time in China. I mean, I can go down a list of.
Oh, that's
great
right. He played
films.
another blind character in Rogue One.
Yeah. Yep. He's done a couple of blind men characters in several different movies. And for me, versus Ballerina, which they should have skipped Ballerina. This would have been the better thing to go to. And I'm
It
glad
was
that they're
good,
doing
but
this.
Ballerina was good, but it just rode the name John Wick. It could have been it could have stood on its own, but it was trying to ride the coattails of the John Wick franchise.
Yeah.
Don it was it It Man or IP Man? I always called it It Man.
IP Man, I call it Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Yeah,
I,
it was,
I loved
those
it
were
'cause
such a good film.
they were
you know.
basically he wasn't Ip Man the teacher of Bruce Lee in that entire generation,
Yes.
and it was
Yes.
his. Oh, so there's one
They make it to Bruce Lee, to him teaching Bruce Lee at that level.
There's one, yeah, because there's one story he's in San Francisco and he befriends a Marine, and there's this great fight scene between him, Ip Man, and the drill instructor, and the drill instructor kind of kicks his ass because he's using the Marine fighting style versus the karate that Ip Man used was kind of karate's a lot of flash. I mean, compared to a lot of other fighting styles. But it was such a good sequence, and it really showed basically strength versus endurance. I love Donnie Yen. I completely
And speaking of that, we're talking about Bruce Lee also. There is a film that's getting a remaster, and it happens to be the last collaboration that Bruce Lee did before his death. He worked with James Coburn, something called The Silent Flute. And it was made in 1978. It was made into a feature length after Bruce Lee's death. It's called Circle of Iron, and it's a fantastic film because not only that it delves into some of the martial arts, but it also deals with philosophy. A lot of stuff.
David Carradine taking another Bruce Lee role.
Well. Bruce Lee passed away. Well, there was a lot of characters in this movie Bruce Lee could have played, and I think he would have played the other character on here. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Cord. Yes, there's multiple characters in this movie. Carradine plays a blind man, basically walking around with a flute, just walking on that. Cord is a man who fought to basically get the right to fight this other fighter named Zitan. And if you beat Zitan has a book of basically knowledge, that basically the truth to everything onto there. And you would be able to get that book if you defeat. So far, everyone that has gone has never returned from fighting Zitan.
Played by Christopher Lee.
Played by Christopher Lee on there. Roddy McDowell's in this movie also as well. Carradine doesn't play one role; he plays about 5 roles in this movie. On there, another character, of course, Carradine plays all these. Let me just bring this up on here. Yeah, there he goes, Cord and Carradine on there. But there's another character which surprised in this movie itself was Eli Wallach is in this film, and he's got a great part on this. He plays a man inside this big jug of oil. And he's like in the middle of the desert. Cord comes up across him and he's sitting in there. He's like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm getting rid of my lower half." He says, it's so evil. I just want to just, waste it away, to that point. And that's what he's doing. He's sitting there and he's been there for many years and his lower half is just, shriveling away. Because he doesn't trust. When you watch the movie, you'll understand the premise of the philosophy behind this, and this is some of the parts that you get of this. The trial, because there are trials before you go to fight Citan, and this is why no one has really come back from this, because most of them have not successfully completed the trials. To get there, you got to do these other trials just to get to Citan. And now that this is coming out in 4K, I'm so happy on this. For those of you out there who want to see it right now, Tubi TV does have this, in the 1080p version of this movie. It is well worth the watch. My wife watched it with me the other night. She loved it. That she enjoyed this movie. On there, that it was complete. It has martial arts in it, but it, like I said, it also has philosophy stuff that basically Bruce Lee wanted. This is the Bruce Lee's project that he wanted to put on the screen for a long time, and he was working with James Coburn. That James Coburn to bring this to the screen, but Bruce Lee never got to make it. But it was made. And you could see it now, and now that they're going to remaster it, it's going to be fantastic, to see that on there. So, what do you think, gentlemen?
I think it's interesting. One thing Bruce Lee was always big on about the philosophy behind martial arts, and I wish he could have gotten to do this. He brought martial arts basically. Didn't he go against societal norms of China that saying?
Yes.
Like they thought you don't teach the gringo our art.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a thing that him and IP Man, they did. There was a whole thing in one of the movies. It has he was in martial law. We talked about that show last week when we talked about Chuck Norris. He did the show Martial Law. What was his name? He was another student of Ip Man who worked with Bruce Lee. Big guy now. Oh God, what's his name? But he played one of the elders against Ip Man.
Yeah, and, I'm trying to remember too. It's like
Sammo Hung.
Sammy Hung. Yeah, Sammy Hung. Yeah.
I think this would have been like him. He gave you the action. He told you the story. Now this movie is the lore behind all that way of thinking. That's how I would see this movie. I need to watch it. I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, this is on my top 10 as far as best martial art films of all time to take in. And this is one. It's really good. It does run. I'll warn everyone. It does run a little slow, but it's purposely done that way because the flow of it. Because the original title is The Silent Flute. And there's flute playing throughout this whole thing, and basically it's like Cord is the only one that can hear it. No one else can hear it, and that's why it's called the silent flute. But it's really so well done. It's so well done on there, So what do you think, Dean?
It's been a long time since I've seen a good martial arts film, do you know what? You said something which I actually like, which is it has pacing. It doesn't rush the story. And I love films like that, especially when the acting is just spot on. You just lose yourself in the story. You lose yourself in every single moment.
Mm-hmm.
And There's only been, in fact, I can't think of many films that have done that to me. I think the last one was the first Dune film. The sequel, not so much, but the first one was probably the last time I was at the cinema where I lost myself in a film. This sounds like it might be that. We got a nice cinema room downstairs, nice big settee, massive screen, surround sound. So what was this called? Circle of Iron, I think.
Circle of Iron.
Circle of Iron. That's on my list. I need to watch this. This does tick all the boxes for me.
Yeah. How about you, Snob?
Yeah, same thing here. I mean, there's two sets of martial arts movies and we've talked about this before. There's the very cheesy fight ones, which are really cool if you're into martial arts and you like to see these guys do some crazy things. The Hong Kong version of them, very light on story. And then there's the ones which the Bruce Lee movies tend to fit in, which martial arts, but also good story. I would definitely I'd like to watch this. I think I should see Way of the Dragon first. Not that they're together or anything, or I needed to see it, but it's on my list too for sure. Should be good.
We have watched one, Ip Man, but Vicky's right. I struggle with subtitles. But I'm happy to if there's a good martial arts film, I will go with the subtitles. I think talking Snob. I think you're talking about films like Kung Fu Hustle, which was a very comedic.
I love that movie,
and I love that. Absolutely.
I'm not talking specifically about the Kung Fu, the comedy versions of them. I can't remember any of the names. These are the movies we watched Friday night and Saturday night at 2:00 in the morning that were on, crappy television stations, and they were badly dubbed. He's
talking Shaw Brothers and Golden Harvest.
Yeah. This is all the badly dubbed, with the lips move and the Chinese guys speak with a John Wayne accent, that kind of stuff. But some of them have really good martial arts, like very cool martial arts stuff, and you go, "Hey, I wonder if I could do that." But and then you're,
And finally, before we go.
But let me just say one more thing about this movie. Right. You talked about David Carradine playing the martial arts master walking around with a flute. That image of just the lone wanderer playing the flute, to me, is just synonymous with the genre now. I'm guessing it's because of this film. I never knew where that came from. Kind of the lone wanderer with his rice cap pulled down and he's just walking, playing the flute. Mm-hmm. That kind of monk, like
it's always it's there are many different films in the martial art world going back years that have this this caliber where there's always the flute, the character with the flute, or the master who's blind to the point. There are many films of that. I can go down a whole list of them. They're fantastic, and they're some of them done by Shaw, some of them done by Golden Harvest, some of them done by Warner Brothers. There are many companies that have put out films of this nature for many years.
A lot of people don't realize the first two Ninja Turtle movies were done by Golden Harvest. I'm not sure about the third. I'm thinking the company that Bruce Lee started did one of my favorite franchises of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't care what people say. I enjoyed Ninja Turtles 3. I love that one when they go back in time.
So we don't know a date on Circle of Iron, but we'll let you know when that comes out. It's probably going to be year's end or into next year, depending on how long it takes to digitally transfer. Because I know this is coming from the original prints that they're doing on there, so it's going to take some time. So finishing off today, of course, we're going to do a little Russell T Davies since Dean's here with us today. Obviously,
I do apologize that he's British and
David
put him.
Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, lately what I've heard, what I've been reading lately, is that he's been criticizing the fans again, over the issues of the last of Doctor Who on there, and that basically he's been slamming on Elon Musk and Twitter itself, because the people on Twitter saying that they're basically, toxic and stuff like that. I mean, come on, really? You understand where basically Russell T Davies made some good episodes years ago, and now what he's putting out. And the thing about it is, understand, folks, I'm going to throw this out. I have nothing against the LGBT community. Notice I didn't put the other half of that because the important part is the LGB to the point. You hear a lot of terminology from Russell T Davies. When you hear the term queer, okay, it has nothing to do with LGB community. Why? Because they are the radicals of this. If you're familiar, you go back to the days of the Arsenio Hall show where Queer Nation attacked Arsenio Hall live on the show. They protested his show. The video is out there. I've shown the video. Arsenio slammed them because he said the best thing possible. There are people who don't want to know your sexual situations. There have been many people on, he says, there have been many people on my show that are gay. They don't want you to know that they're gay. It's none of anyone's business but their own. Because this group wanted to like say, "Oh, you never have gay people on your show." And the politics to this situation is every time you hear the terminology queer, it's like, here's the problem. It's like, we don't have queer characters. We don't have this. We don't have that. Those characters have been in shows for decades.
There's a famous interview with Oprah, Nathan Lane, and Robin Williams for when they did the Birdcage. Oprah asked Nathan Lane a question about his sexuality. Nathan Lane hadn't come out yet. He was not ready to come out at the time because it was early 90s in Hollywood. It still wasn't. It was not. It was still frowned upon a lot in a lot of circles. And Robin Williams caught it and he did the Robin Williams thing of kind of hijacking the moment. And Nathan Lane said, "I had never been more grateful to a man in my entire life because I was not ready." I don't care what you do in your bedroom. If you find someone to love, yay, great. You're doing better than me in that regard. It's when it's this militant, like you said, the militant, like you were talking about Arsenio Hall. I think I've seen that video a long time ago. That's when you get it. It's when the people that wish you harm because you're not behind them 100%. That's when I think a lot of people are having issues when it's shoved in your face. In stories, I don't care if a character is gay as long as it fits into the story. It doesn't bother me. I don't need. If I'm reading a book, I don't need to read a scene where they're in the bedroom. Just like I wouldn't need that scene if it was a straight couple, unless it fit into the story. That's my thing. And I think a lot of times now we're seeing it just thrusted into the story for the sake of checking a box. And
this is why you had Star Trek Academy fail. That's why you had Doctor Who fail. Everything has been failing. I mean, Jason put it best today on his show. He said that basically you got Gen Z not coming to watch this stuff because basically it doesn't have their attention. It basically their attention is to TikTok, it's to anime and manga or any other thing that basically would interest them. They don't have interest in watching the type of Russell T Davies Doctor Who. They don't have interest in Alex Kurtzman Star Trek Academy. They want stories. They don't want the politics in their stories. They want to have fun. They want to take away from all the issues that are going on in the world today by sitting down and watching a good story. Friday on what is it? The BBC service iPlayer will be airing the remastered Dalek Master Plan episodes 1 and 2 that have been missing for years. They finally found it. We reported it here on the Madman with the Show. It was found. We now have 5 out of 12 episodes, or is it 12 episodes that have been now found. Friday they will be airing this on the BBC iPlayer. People will be watching that. And then they're going to wonder, why do they have better numbers on Friday than any of the last couple of episodes of Doctor Who?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
this is what has been going on. This is this is why they attack anime and manga, because they got great stories. That's why we brought it up today on this episode, because they have great stories.
I saw a John Boyega, whatever his name is, from Star Wars. He made a comment that he doesn't watch Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings because there are no black people in it. And I understandably, the reason there's very few, if any, black people in Lord of the Rings is because Tolkien wanted it as the British mythology. And people who were just tearing into him, saying, like, excuse you, there are plenty of black people in Lord of the Rings. It was the that branch of the Targaryens. There was the what's their names? That they were the army that Daenerys hired or freed.
Dothraki?
Not that they're Thraki. They were the slaves.
The Sullied.
The Unsullied.
Yeah, the Unsullied.
They were. I'm like, dude, if you can't enjoy entertainment past race, you're gonna be bored out of your freaking mind. It's like, I would love to see a black Superman because there's black Superman in the comics. Adapt one of those stories. I would love to see a multiverse Captain Superman. There's such a rich
There have been black
history.
superheroes for many years. They've forgotten that we've had a Blade. They forget Blade. They forget Mantis. They forget all these characters on there. They said, we have broken the ceiling. We've brought someone who's gay to a show that's been around for 70 years. I was like, have you ever watched an actual Doctor Who episode? Have you not watched this series itself? It's Jason said also, they said, well, we don't have the women on there. A woman was the producer of this show originally.
Yeah. They did a biopic called Adventures in Time and Space. It was a story about getting it started and running it, and the hardship she faced as a woman getting Doctor Who off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, most men in Britain are gay. Just ask Dean; he'll tell you.
Oh yes. All of us, yeah.
Pretty much, almost all.
Pretty much. Do you know what? I don't care about who people sleep with, what their sexual preference is. I will judge them on the works they do. And
yes.
Russell T Davies, he helped launch Doctor Who. And at the start, he came up with some great storylines, and he was. I got a friend who's a massive Doctor Who fan, and he would not shut up about Russell T Davies because he really connected with the fans back then. And now it's like he's got another priority, and he's doing so. Channel 4, he's got a show on Channel 4 called Tiptoe, about two neighbors who are having a fight with each other. One neighbor is entrenched into the LGBT movement. The other neighbor isn't, more conservative. And his quote, "It will be woke on a Colossus scale. People will hate it." And all I can think is, this is the mind of the person creating scripts for Doctor Who. Now, this is his show, Tiptoe. He's not destroying a fandom. He's not going into a fan's treasured memories and ripping it apart. So he can do what he wants. But when he takes that attitude and brings it into Doctor Who, what does he expect is going to happen if he's going out to create, something that people will hate, and then he gets hate back and people saying we don't like it? Well, you can only point to one person in that situation. I stopped watching Doctor Who towards the end of the Matt Smith era, and I loved it to that point. I watched a little bit going into Capaldi, but I think it was beginning to change. It was getting too, the music was constantly pumping. It was just too much. And then I know I kept track of what was going on, listened to reviews, and I know it just went steadily downhill. And it's such a shame because, I've seen Jodie Whittaker in a few films, and I've really enjoyed her in those few films. Attack on the Block being one of them.
Oh,
I thought she was
loved
great.
Attack on the Block.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
she's a very beautiful woman.
And John
Yeah.
Boyega is also in Attack of the Block too.
Absolutely. And do you know what? That's talk about a great movie. And it just works. And then she's thrown in this role, not because she's a good actress, and I do believe she is a good actress, but she was thrown in the role to make one message. And that was the start of the end. And then it was the whole retro, the retro fitting of the Doctor being female and all the rest of it. And my beef with all of this is I am sick and tired of the things that in my childhood I loved. I remember hiding behind a settee watching the old Doctor Who's. Tom Baker is one of my favorites. And they come in to destroy those memories. And they then wonder why they get such a passionate backlash against them, because these people are passionate about that fandom. They're passionate about what they watched in the past. So I don't know. Yeah. It's okay. I don't know where we're going to go with Doctor Who from now, because I think it's kind of on pause at the moment. Disney's quite understandably backed out. Who knows?
Yeah, because it's because I saw it the first time I saw Doctor Who was on WWOR Channel 9 here in New York City. Saturday afternoon. And do you know what grabbed me?
Fucking hell!
Huh?
I just kicked my fucking desk.
Oh, you okay?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm good. Ooh,
okay.
It's like right on that little toe. Sorry.
But the thing that grabbed me, okay, this was in the TV guide. Ah, shit, I didn't bring it with me too. I have a piece of the TV guide. Was a picture of the Centauran that grabbed me on that. It was like the advertisement, Doctor Who, Saturday afternoon. I think it was 5:00, whatever it was at the time period. And it was a picture of Centauran. I was like, what the hell is this? I've never heard that. And it was Robot, the first episode, Robot, the introduction of Tom Baker into the United States at that point. And I was like, and it had the narration, because you remember when they brought over Doctor Who for the first time in the United States, I forgot the name of the narrator. They brought in a narrator to narrate each episode. Like the beginning is, Doctor's in trouble again. He has to fight off this robot. What will happen? Will Sarah Jane be able to escape? We'll have to tune in and watch. That was the whole thing that they did for a little while.
I could tell you the moment I fell in love with Doctor Who, and the moment it died to me. I watched it on the Sci-Fi Channel when they brought the Ninth Doctor over. That was a lot of Americans' first Americans my age, because I was like, the movie came out in 91, 92. I was like 3 or 4 years old, because I'm so much younger than all of you old folks. And so I didn't see that till later. But the Autons, I'm like, that captured my eye. I'm like, holy crap, that's such an amazing, cool monster. And it got me like, okay, what's going to happen next? And the moment it died for me was during the 60th anniversary, when the Doctor's talking to the Meep, and they go on about gender identity. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, we're done.
Why are you talking? Why would gender even be a concept to the Time Lords, when you can change into any gender you want? You could change back and forth. We saw that with the General, when it was the first time we ever saw a Time Lord go from a female to male back in the 13th Doctor. It was the last episode of Clara, I think.
Yes.
Yes,
it was.
But I'm thinking, oh God, David Tennant, yes, he's coming back as the Doctor. It's going to be awesome. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
God dang it. And I was like, David Tennant will always be my Doctor. I started with Christopher Eccleston. I enjoyed it, but I fell in love when Stephen Moffat was starting to come in. I think under Tennant, Russell T. Davies was he was on his way out, I think. And some of the best stories, like The Stolen Earth, was one of my favorite. I loved Torchwood and the Sarah Jane adventures. Loved them.
And they're showing a lot of the old classic Doctor Who on YouTube right now for free.
Fifth
In
Doctor's
fact,
my
thank
favorite.
God they brought in, because Tubi doesn't have it.
They don't have him
There's an
anymore?
episode with Patrick Troughton called Invasion, which they only have, I think, 2 out of the 5 episodes, or 2. No, it's 2 episodes. It's basically a Cylon invasion. It is the first incarnation of UNIT.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
second time. It's the second time. It's the second time. Lethbridge Stewart. Now he's Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. He was Colonel Lethbridge Stewart in the Web of Fear, and that was the first time we saw him on there. Other than you will see him in the Daleks Master Plan, but as a different character. The actor played a different character in that. But Invasion is the first time you see UNIT as a character in the series itself. The Cybermen are invading Earth. It's a great episode. Catch it. Parts of it are animated itself because they are lost on there. So I know we gotta let Dean go because basically he's got a stream in just
under an hour,
which we just posted his link on there. Dean, tell me what are you going to have today?
On our live stream? We are going through combat with Untold Destinies Basic Edition. So we're just going to show just how slick, how smooth it all is, how it just works, and the dynamic nature of our combat system, and how skills attributes being used for skills works.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
It's fantastic. If you've got the time, pop across, keep us company whilst I take 3 unsuspecting adventurers through a small little dungeon to experience some horrors unimaginable.
And you're going to be putting out a game very soon. You said
yes,
you're doing.
We're doing yes.
Crowdfunding?
So what we're doing is a sort of level 1 adventure with some condensed rules. So you can create your own characters. You can have a look at the system. You can play it, and then we're looking to go to Kickstarter for the first book. So Untold Destiny Basic Edition. The first book will contain everything you need to play, to run the game, including a set of creatures at the back. So everything you need to run the game. And we're looking around October time to potentially go to Kickstarter for that. But we'll have more details, firmer details as we go through the months.
His link is in the chat. Yeah, go ahead.
Just like to remind Dean that the Dungeon Master doesn't win unless you kill all the players.
No, definitely not. It's all about having that great fun challenge and adventure around the table. But you are right. There's also a when the players fall, it's
So link is in the chat.
I was right. I was just kidding. Oh no.
Yeah, link is in the chat, guys. It's in less than an hour on there. Go on over on there. Give him a like. Give him a thumbs up or whatever, and subscribe on so that so you get more information on there. Outpost, do you have anything coming up? I know you did a live stream over the weekend. I'm sorry if I missed it.
No, that's good. Just go back and leave a like and share. I did about our favorite late night host getting to work on Tolkien, as I say, through gritted teeth. But April 5th coming up, first contact day for all us Star Trek nerds. So I will be doing I'm thinking about doing a stream about my favorite ships and just. I love the Enterprise E and the Akira class. Those are my 2 favorite ships. So I'll be talking about them and like some of the lesser known ships, like the Tython class, which is I can't remember the video game it was in. But just how basically like 90s Trek was the superior Trek, in my opinion. The Kurtzman Trek has just ruined it, and I made my thoughts known on that. But so yeah, I'll be doing that. I'll try to do that on the 5th if I don't have anything in real life.
All righty, Snob. What do we got tomorrow? Actually, we got tomorrow night.
We have Babylon 5, of course. We're looking at Interludes and Examinations, which is the episode right before the 2-parter War Without End. Things have been ramping up, and as we found out in Ship of Tears, the last episode, the shadows have begun attacking. So Interludes and Examinations, we're going to have more of that. We're going to have a bit of Londo has a little bit of a problem. Well, a solution that he thinks is there coming, and it becomes a bit of a problem. Big arc. Big change for his character in the area, in the direction he's going. Plus, I don't know. I guess you'd say that Sheridan stands up to Kosh. I guess you'd put it that way. That should be
a line in the sand is drawn with the vote.
Yes, yeah, you could say it that way. Yeah, it's a big scene. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. And don't forget, next week Snob will be on 1 hour earlier.
We need more time for that double episode. That's true. Yeah.
That double episode, War Without End, will be an hour earlier.
That's true. Yeah.
And of course, me and Dean will be there.
Oh, we
right,
will.
Dean?
I cannot wait. It is an incredible two-parter. I think it's probably one of the best two-parters I have ever seen.
And I will also say that this Sunday we're gonna on the Top Lofty Lounge, we're gonna jump into Digital Circus. Cam has been pushing me to get into it, and I watched the first couple episodes, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. And then my daughter got into it without me getting her, and then she's like, gotta watch this, and I watched more and more. And as I watched more episodes past the third, fourth episode, I see that there's something in this show. I think maybe that it's trying to say something to us. So I want to go. The last episode is going to come out in June or July, a couple months from now, episode 9. So I want to do a show where we're going to look at, every so often, we're going to look at a couple of the episodes and really dig deep in them, because I think it's got something to say to us. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe they'll finish the show and go, yay, it was a show about cute cartoon characters in order to sell merch. But I think there might be more to it than that. But we'll see. There's some stuff going on in the show. We're gonna go over that. Slowly dig into it. Kind of do the retrospective thing for each episode, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. And then of course, over by me, we got a couple of good videos coming up on this week. We got of course, we have the Meta YouTube verdict from last week. We also have the SCOTUS, the judgment on Cox, winning that, the Cox Communications, the social media ban for under 16 in California and in Missouri. And of course, we'll be talking about the Crunchyroll hack, the second lawsuit that is being filed as we speak. Crunchyroll is in deep crap right now. Sony's going to have to make a decision on some of this stuff on there. You got two major lawsuits in the Crunchyroll situation on two separate subjects. One, you're selling off data illegally without notifying the personnel, and now you've had hackers take some of their customers' information, credit card numbers, and all that. And that's what's coming up this week. And we got a lot more next week too, as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I don't know what we're going to do next week, but we'll have some good stuff, because there is a lot of stories that are unfolding with us right now. Okay, so I don't know who's going to be in next week. Everyone is invited. Also, before we go away, Antiderivative Jill, be sure we have the links below to her coffee account in the description, and her Patreon. Do give her some love. Hopefully we'll be able to get her channel remonetized again for this.
Can I say something before we leave on that?
Yeah, shoot.
I just got an email from YouTube. I'm really low on hours, so they're taking a lot of features away. I guess I didn't know they did that. So if y'all could go over, give me a like, subscribe, give me some watch hours, I would so appreciate it. It'd help me so much. It'd show me that what I'm doing is worth it, and I enjoy doing it. But I also would love some support, please. Thank you.
Please give support to Outpost. He's also listed in the description below as well in there on his channel. So do check that out. So until next week, thank you for tuning in. As we close up the cafe, I kick everybody out of the fortress. So get out of here. Good night, good evening, good morning to all.
Good night.
Later.
Hey everyone! Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We truly appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to check out our official merch shop and our amazing affiliate partners. Until next time, mwah!